One of the things that I paid attention to when I had just moved to Denmark from Sweden was that there are so many jewelry designers here. There are so many brands, there are so many small creators, and I think it's super cool to see. And I wanted to share a few of them with you. The first one that I wanted to mention is Vita by Daniela. Daniela made our engagement rings, and this is what I use, or that we use as our wedding bands. We don't have any wedding bands, so our engagement rings are also our wedding rings. She makes very delicate pieces that are very classic and elegant, and she's based in Stockholm, and you can find her website below in the description. A few years ago I lived in Gothenburg and I sat at a co-working space, and there was also someone who calls herself Linn Holmes, and she made this ring. This is also silver, all of my rings are silver, and this is something that I think some of you have asked about. This is just a circle and it's rounded. I think it's beautiful, but it is a little uncomfortable when you are buying groceries or holding grocery bags, because it squeezes into your finger. But it's beautiful. She also has a few selected pieces. I don't think she does this full time, but I think you should check out her jewelry because she makes very timeless pieces. She has this thicker, chunkier hoop earrings that I find beautiful. The third brand that I wanted to mention, also Swedish, is what I'm wearing here. And this is a gift from my husband the morning after we got married. As you maybe don't know, we got married in the beginning of 2020, was the beginning of the pandemic, and there were some restrictions on who you could invite, or not who you could invite, but how many you could invite. So that meant we had to, if we wanted to invite family, we would have had to, I don't know, somehow try and decide who to invite and who not to invite, because we could only have 5 guests, I think, and I think it was including your witnesses, and we had 2 witnesses, which is mandatory when you get married. We got married in the city hall of Stockholm, so we just eloped. We went there, or we booked, but we didn't tell anyone except for my best friend and Love's best friend, and we also had another friend of mine who was the photographer. So that was a secret, and then we got married, and it was super cozy and beautiful, and I love the photos. Obviously I wanted to wear natural makeup, and I hadn't found a good waterproof mascara, and I cried a lot. I'm a big crier. I get emotional easily, and obviously this was a huge day for me. So I started crying when she asked if we wanted to get married, or if I wanted to take this Love, Signor, Valdemar Ojensa, which was my husband's full name. So yeah, I cried a lot, and you can see that on the photos. But the day after, let's see if we can focus. But the day after I got this ring from him, it has a pearl and it has a black stone, and it is one of those that you can adjust. I have very thin fingers, or very small fingers, and he thought this was cool and matched my style, and I agree. This one is from Cornelia Webb. As you know, whenever I buy things, I want it to be ethically produced, and my husband did some research before he bought this ring, which was also super sweet, that he also wanted to buy me something that he knew was produced under fair conditions. Can you tell that my hair is wet? I just went to the gym during lunch, and it's already kind of getting dark, it feels like. It's such a great day today in Copenhagen. There is this one brand that I found through Instagram. They are called Pura Utz, and they produce ethically in Latin America, and they it feels like a community that you buy from, like a small community of females when you buy from them. Their style is way more colorful, and something that I have always seen like in Danish fashion and in Danish trends, also in interior, is these very like whimsical and pops of colors and quite playful designs. And I feel that Pura Utz really embraces that. Their jewelry are glass beads and it's very like girly and playful, and I feel this is something that is super popular among influencers here in Denmark. I really love their aesthetic. I don't have any pieces from them. They have a small store here in Copenhagen. I haven't been there yet. I think they opened like maybe a year ago or in the beginning of this year, but I should check it out because I like their styles. I think you would like them too. I mentioned that I lived in Gothenburg, and the place where I lived in Gothenburg is called Gamla Staden, and this is also where this brand SaSira has their showroom. I have never been there. I didn't know of them when I lived there. Maybe they didn't have their showroom back then, I don't know. Their pieces are very much statement pieces that are super cool, and they are also very conscious in their production. When it comes to silver, like, it's easy to use recycled silver, I think. I'm not a jeweler myself, but I see that a lot of brands use recycled silver. And there are also initiatives on how to recycle silver that is like comes from waste from households. I know there is one initiative like that here in Copenhagen, and I think that's super cool. So that's one way to look for sustainability when you are buying jewelry, to buy recycled. But when it comes to ethics in jewelry, it's also like, it's one way is to use like recycled materials. Also, when it comes to the stones, there are ways to find stones that are broken or that are just like used in pieces that no one wants anymore, and you can use the same stones or pearls. That's a great way to reuse those, especially if you want to use diamonds. And I know that there are also lab-grown diamonds, and usually there are brands that are more established that use lab-grown diamonds. I don't own any diamonds, and most of the pieces that I like are more like chunky pieces with bigger things, like bigger stones, and more of statement pieces. I do really like these earrings from SaSira, and I think I have said this before, but I like jewelry that you wear in ways that are not what we usually see, and SaSira also makes these handcuffs that are used across your hand, like a bracelet but on your hand, and I think those are super cool as well. It might not be something that you would wear like every day, even though I would fully support someone who wants to do that. But I think it's cool. If I'm invited to a fancy event soon, I would love to wear something like this. The brand All Blues has super cool, more punk pieces. These earrings look like classic piercing studio jewelry. I think they are super cool. I would love to wear this. And I like when pieces are not just like, when earrings are not just on the front, but something is happening in the back as well. They use recycled materials. You can find them in both silver and gold. And there are a few pieces that I really like from them. I also must say that I appreciate when brands not only have young models, but also older women or older men. I think it adds more character and interest to the brand. The brand Novi Studio has this little pendant necklace that I am absolutely in love with. It's a melting smiley face, and I think, I feel like a lot of you would like it. I feel like my style isn't very elegant, maybe. I've always admired people who are very like cool and calm and collected and elegant in their styles. I am not, or I don't feel very elegant. And this necklace fits my style perfectly. They also have a couple of quite classic earrings, and this heart, the chunky love necklace, is also very cute. And they also have a chunky heart. So it's chunky love and chunky heart. And they have a slightly different shape, and I feel that's fun because usually when you buy a heart necklace, it's like this shape. So it's fun when something has this shape. The brand Elhanati is based here in Copenhagen, Denmark, and these pieces are amazing. If you have 10,000 or 15,000 Danish kroner laying around somewhere, I think you should invest in these earrings because they are so beautiful. Honestly, have you seen anything like this before? There's something about these shapes where things are like melting and moving in different ways that I feel very drawn to, and I find these earrings to be absolutely magnificent. Elhanati is Danish with Middle Eastern roots, and I think it's fun when you can kind of play around with different cultural backgrounds in your designs. The flamingo ring, absolutely spectacular. I feel I see a lot of jewelry designs that are this type of style with like, it looks like melted wax or something. But this one is fun because it also has like a little cluster of diamonds or something on the side as well. And again, it's fun when designers are making things that stand out and are different from the rest. I also wanna mention the brand Griegst. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's an old Danish jewelry designer brand house from the 60s, and their pieces are very like dramatic. It looks like something belonging in a museum. Something about Griegst also reminds me of the White Lotus, you know, the HBO series, which is fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you must. I'm just waiting for is it the third season? Because I think we have seen 2 seasons, so we're waiting for the 3rd season now, and it's one of the best series productions that I have ever seen. I found this brand the first time because Benjamin Ingrosso was wearing some of her pieces. Her name is Eleni. IAMELENI is her, maybe that's the full brand name. I will link everything below in the descriptions. I find these pieces to be super nice. I've been looking into buying some of these myself. But jewelry is really like the last thing on my list. I rarely buy things new. And I don't own much jewelry, but I do love these pieces, and they are very loved apparently by Swedish artists as well. Maybe they know each other. Sometimes that happens, that an artist knows another artist and they collaborate by kind of helping each other out or lending pieces to each other and so on. Now I feel like there are still so many names on my list that I should mention. Maybe I have to do like another video and maybe focus that one more on like elegant designers, because I feel there are a lot of like more elegant and timeless designers out there, especially here in Copenhagen as well. I'm thinking of one that is called, I think it's called Facon Facon, like Falcon, but without the L. That girl is also lovely. She helped me with my ring one time when I had lost my pearl. Very like elegant and classy pieces. Not necessarily something that I would wear, but I still really appreciate her designs. So maybe I should do a video with more designers. Let me know what you think. This video was requested by one of you, so I listen carefully and I try to make things happen. If it's something that you're interested in, let me know. I have a few fun videos coming up. I feel like I'm filming like 3 videos at the same time right now. So I just wanted to like pop in with this video in between before the others come up. So if you are new here, I would really appreciate it if you wanted to subscribe. More things are happening here soon. And yeah, thank you for watching and thank you for being here with me. I hope to see you soon again.